While browsing some site, I came across this section which looks pretty nice. It's just images between our text, and when you hover on it, it simply scales them. And I realized that we can actually do it pretty easily via coding, but it would be more easier for people who are not familiar with it to make it in the default Elementor, the text editor. So I created this stuff and I'll show you how to do it. So I actually created like 2 of this stuff. So around here I'll show you that in the first container, you can see the way I have made it is like not the ideal way, but I still want to show you. So it's like the first heading, second heading, image, heading like this, and then there are like so many elements like this. So if I go into my this page, do inspect, and if you're not familiar with DOM structure basically, so it's better to have less DOM for our speed and for just normally good for our website. So if I go here and then click in here like this, you could see the DOM structure. The way Elementor works is if I click on the first heading, which is added by our heading stuff like this, the issue is it adds like this one container like this, then it adds another div container, and then we have h2. That is 3 extra stuff that we don't want. Okay, so for just single element or just one DOM, it actually creates 3, and now we have 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11. So that is 33 DOM structures, or even more. I'm not completely sure, but it's more than that. But if we check on the second one which I've made, it is, if I click on here, you could see we have one which is like default container, then we have our default Elementor one, and then I have 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 like this. Okay, so this would actually be good for our website speed and normally good for our website. And what we are basically doing is this text editor has its own styling. We are just replacing it with our own to make it work like this, and you don't need to know about the code, but it still works. Okay, so that's all you need to know. And obviously we can make each of them scale differently, or you could even do like different effects that you know. So let's quickly get started. Let's create I'm just going to create 100 VH of stuff like this just to showcase. Let's create this one like this in center, and inside of this I'll add my container which would contain all those elements. So I'm going to make it like 40% right now, and then I'm just going to add my text editor inside of this one. And in the text editor, the way you type is different right now. Okay, so you could see this is how you should type, and I'll explain to you. It's not much complicated. So let's type your next healing journey is 1 flight away. So we'll type, well, let's just copy it, why not? Let's paste it, and all we simply do is your next healing journey is 1 flight away. Also, you have to make sure that you are not in the visual builder but in the text builder. So for some reason, if you open the visual builder to do some changes, you could obviously use it, but make sure at the end you go to the text editor like this, and then click around here like this, or do some space or delete like this to update the stuff around here. And then we are simply just going to do our styling. So I just use like a random stuff. Okay, so let's do 670, or maybe just do 49 or 50, something like this. I'm not going to do much stuff here. Okay, in our CSS class, I'll also show you how we can actually add like an h2 class in here. So right now this one would be using p class. Okay, so it's totally okay if it's using p. I'll show you how we can actually add h2 class if you are trying to do some SEO stuff. Now where do I need the image? Okay, so right now I have added one image at your next healing journey and this around here. So between my your next, I'll do an enter, and I'll simply type this code, this is also how Elementor just adds its own images too. Okay, so even though we add this stuff like this, it is added via this same code. That's just basic HTML, pretty easy to understand. So I'll just copy it below to show you guys what it is. So we have image, then I have given it class DM text images so that we could like customize it. And then src, this is where we would have our image. Okay, so the way we add our image is simply go into wherever you could like access your media library, just go there, search for an image. I'll use this one, copy this file URL and then replace it in the src, and then let's copy this like this inside of our, make sure it's in the text editor, else it would look like this. Okay, between your and next, I'll copy this image class like this, you'll see. And let's try another image. I'm just going to show 2 images so that it does not get like too big. Let's change the src. Oops. Let's change the src like this. I'm going to copy. Go in your picture and probably add it after like. So this is how it looks. It looks weird, I know that, but that is because we haven't added our code, and that is simply by adding our HTML widget. Just add it below. This would contain our CSS. So if you have Elementor Pro, you can simply just add it in like advanced panel around here, custom CSS. So if you don't have Elementor Pro, you could get it, but if you want to use for the free version, use this HTML widget like this below this one, and I'll type style, and then I'm going to copy my second code, which I'll explain sooner. It's pretty easy, nothing complicated, around here like this. Actually, like, let's just copy paste fully because right now. Okay, so this works, this we do not need, and everything is working perfect, you could see. So how about if I want to change the image size, or if I want to do some changes in the line height or stuff like that? Okay, so first of all, line height is controlled by like this one. So you can see how much line height I want. I can control it from here. If you want to change the size of this images, you could see I have given height and width around here. Make sure these are like equal so that it's in square, and if it's not in square image, it will still work. It's nothing, there would not be an issue. And you could see this is how it looks right now. Okay, so I simply added this one. You don't need to, I'll add it in the code, and that way you would be able to add like different stuff like this. So even though these are different sizes, it still works. In this one, if you go, you could see that it actually does like 3 different animation. And for that, what we can simply do is, if I go to my text around here, go into my text, and I'm just going to copy it in like this one so that it's easier to see. We will give it extra class, and based on the class which you give, you could actually customize it more. So I'll just call it like DM img1 like this, the first one. You just add a space to add extra classes. Okay, I'll call this 2 and I'll call this 3 like this. Okay, so let's paste it in here. So nothing's going to happen, it's still going to work perfectly. But instead of doing DM images hover, which is like basically controls the scale effect, which is 1.5, if we do like say 2, it would do like too much like this. So you could say this one controls for everything. Instead of doing like that, we have now given like an extra class like this. Okay, and this would basically allow us to customize it more. So if I just paste it like this, .dm image1 hover, you could see the first one is working, but the second and third is not. So let's just make it like 1.2 or something, and it looks nicer. If you even want to do more styling, type .dm image1, and then you could add like rotate 30 degree, like 30 degree, and you could see it just rotates 5 like this. And if we also copy this one and then paste it in here, make it let's say like 15, it like scales more. It is not doing nicely, right? That is because we need to give some transition to it for 0.3 seconds like this. You see, it looks nicer, and then obviously you could customize it even more. And the same thing, you could just copy it and give it for let's say second image and then third image like this. And we can do like different scaling. So 1.5, we could do -5 for this one, and then -15, and for the third one we could just like, I'll just use like random values. So the first one will go left, the right second one goes like right and does like more effect, and then third one does this effect. So you could obviously customize it based on like the amount of images that you use. Now let's say if you were using H2 and you don't want to use a paragraph like this, so what you could simply do is go at the top, type H2 like this, go at the bottom, type /H2 so that it is closing. But one thing is that if you're not familiar with the text editor, you know that if you want to add an H2 in here like this, it uses the configuration that is used in your theme or in your site settings. So it only controls or changes the stuff which is having the P value. So we are not able to change around here. We will need to give this a class, and then I'll call it like DM text container or something. And inside of this, I will simply type .dm container. Let's do color white, and you could see absolutely nothing happens because we want to target our H2 like this. And then you need to like manually add it like this: font family, Oswald, font size 45 pixels. Then we add our font weight like 500. So basically just go here, and then just look what it is, like font weight, style, line height, line spacing, and then simply just go in here and type it like that. Line height 5 pixels, 50 pixels. Again, if you don't understand, don't worry, you could just message me on my Facebook group, or you could message me on my Instagram, or just comment below. I'll explain to you how to do this. It's basics, basic CSS, okay? And because the text editor does not allow you to customize like H1, H2 elements, it only allows you to customize the paragraph. So if you add something like this, it would not be editable, which is why we use stuff like this. Make sure you are in text editor, else it would keep doing stuff like annoying stuff like this. And you can see sometimes like this stuff is happening where I'm not able to change. All you simply need to do is add some stuff, delete it, and then it will just update like this. Now one more thing is that now that we have done doing stuff for our desktop devices, if you go down, I have actually added more code, which is like nothing crazy. It's just all I simply done is copied this much and then pasted it inside of this fetch, which is like media max width, and then closed it around here, and just whatever stuff you add inside of this would be overwritten for tablet, and then whatever stuff you add inside of this would be overwritten. So whatever, if I use like the same code in here like this, it would use this code instead of this code for the tablet devices. So all you simply need to do is like reduce the size if you want to do some different size, and make sure you also copy this H2 stuff so that you could add like different font size and stuff. It's basic CSS. The easiest way I can tell you is go into ChatGPT and just say that just copy this one, and then just type like make this one be like say like font size 40 pixels for tablet devices, 20 pixels for mobile devices, and it would give you like the same code, okay? But if you want to change it in this code, you can see you just have to copy paste. This is like the same stuff that is added around here, okay? Everything that is added, you can just copy it and then paste it inside like this, and then any value you use around here would be used for tablet and mobile. But again, like anything that is below 1024 pixel, and mobile is also below 1024 pixels. But again, if you want to have even different values for tablet, you simply just copy it and paste it in here, which is like below 767. So anything that is in here would be for mobile, anything that is in here would be for tablet, and anything around here would be for desktop. So pretty easy to do. I'll give the full code in description so that you could use it pretty easily. And yeah, that's all. Thanks for watching. I think I made it a bit complicated than it should have been to explain it, but it's like very easy. You just add this code and do some styling around here. So that's all. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.